We're on.
Okay. Notice is hereby given that a regular council meeting of the Town of Laguna Vista, Texas will be held Tuesday, the 10th day of December 2019 at 6 o'clock p.m. in the City Hall building at 122 Fernandez Street, Laguna Vista, Texas. Call to order at 6 o'clock. Please join me in the prayer and the pledge. Father God, as we come together tonight in this season, Lord, let us remember the true meaning of the season, what you sacrificed for us so many years ago. Help us as a town, as a community, remember all those things. Lord, help us to do the right things for our town. You've set us here in authority to make the decisions that need to be made for Laguna Vista. I just thank you for each and every one of us. Ask your blessings on the decisions we make, the things we decide, for the best of Laguna Vista. Lord, I lift up our country. I place it before you. Pray for all the men and women who are protecting us around the world, around our country, around Laguna Vista. Lord, right now, I lift up the Carter family. Lord, we all lift up the Carter family. Lord, we lost the loss of the brother. We pray for the family. Lord, we pray for this other crisis that has just happened this evening. Dear friend at home. We lift her up. We lift up the family. But I just thank you for this opportunity together. In Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Before you do, I want the council to know Mr. Carter had a friend at the house that was choking, and so they had the ambulance and they were taking him to the hospital. So that's not all. Okay,
Mayor Susie Houston.
Here.
Councilmember Michael Carter is not here. Councilmember Javon Howard.
Here.
Councilmember Frank Davalos. Here. Councilmember Rolando Gonzalez. Here. Councilmember Victor Worrell. Here. And Councilmember Lee Smith. Here.
I make a motion to excuse Councilman Carter. Motion on the floor made by the mayor, seconded by Councilman Wall to excuse Councilman Carter.
Mayor Houston.
Yes.
Councilmember Howard.
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos.
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes. Motion passes. Item 4, open forum. At this time, audience is allowed 5 minutes per person to address the council on the topic. There is no discussion or formal action taken during this agenda item. The speaker must identify themselves before speaking. The speaker request form must be presented to the city secretary prior to the meeting. Just one?
Yes.
Kareem?
Can you just come up there now? Yes.
The microphone and state your name, please.
Okay, my name is Corinne, and this is my first time speaking before the town council. I feel a little bit nervous. I don't know why. I know everyone's very familiar to me. But town council and Mayor Susie Houston, I wanted to go ahead and just make this brief presentation. It's called It's a Miracle. And it's addressed to the mayor of Laguna Vista, Texas, the city manager, and town council. I'm happy to see the new city manager. And I bless those who move forward with hope to new endeavors. Whatever those may be, I know that they're good. I feel like I've found my mayor. I'm hearing it several ways. I've found my mayor. I found my mayor. You're my mayor. You're the mayor of my heart. And you're our mayor. You're our mayor. That's how I'm hearing it. And that's what I believe. I mean, these are my words. So This is a 9-page offering that I'd like to give to you in writing. And you're free to make copies for the town council and whoever it's addressed to. And there's 9 points of interest. Number 1, restoring our generational lineages through new covenant names. We're going to need your help. Number 2, dissolutions, annulments, and marriages. We're going to need legal counsel in Laguna Vista, Texas, to hopefully work together with Cameron County, the Cameron County Judiciary, to help and work together on this. Number 3, restoring foundations, restoring the capital of Texas to its original location. Number 4, destination, serving alongside the next presidential divine appointment and election. Number 5, destination, Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. But not only Harvard, the University of Notre Dame, Yale University, and all the Ivy Leagues in our country are somehow connected with the people of this region, the Laguna Madre region, in the Rio Grande Valley. Number 6, destination, the White House in Washington, D.C. I believe that there are people in this region who have a divine appointment in Washington, D.C. in the next first family following the Trumps, which I don't believe is going to be an administration. It's not even going to be called an administration. It's going to be called a first family. And I believe that Michael Carter is very much a part of the accounting in the domestic and international community in Washington, D.C. in the next first family. So we really do need to go alongside the Carter family and support and encourage them any way we can. Number 7, the dental and medical family is covered here. Number 8, waiving of charges. We are in a year of Jubilee, and I go ahead and explain biblically what that means for our community, and I believe that there is going to be a waiving of many charges. And number 9, the vice presidency of the next first family is covered here. Susie Houston, you're my mayor. You're our mayor. I'm so grateful to have found you and been found by you. Thank you.
Item 5, consent agenda items. All matters listed under this item are routine by the council and will be enacted for approval by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Item A, minutes, consideration and action to approve the minutes of November 12th, 2019 regular meeting. Motion on the floor made by Councilman Morrow, seconded by Councilman Gonzalez to approve the November 12th, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
Mayor Houston,
Yes.
Councilmember Howard, Councilmember Davalos, Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Item 6, discussion, consideration, and possible action on each of the following items. We have a presentation from Eva Garcia concerning the,
Cara.
thank you.
Trails.
I always stumble over that one.
Cara is okay too.
Cara, thank you. Okay, you have your slideshow.
Yes. Will you be able to spell it? Or, okay, good. So, just so everyone's aware, my name's Eva Garcia. I'm the project manager for the Cara Trails. The history of the Cara Trails started with the active plan. It was a regional plan to connect our communities in 2016. So back then we got $100,000 from the Legacy Foundation, and that each of the communities either pitched in $10,000 or $5,000 to contribute to get this plan developed. And so we'll go through some of it, but the goals were connecting our communities, generating new economic development opportunities, diversifying the tourism market, and promoting healthier lifestyles. So right now, the active plan is formalized and it has become the Cara Cara Trails. We have an advisory committee. It's made up of 20 organizations, including 11 municipalities, and a lot of other regional and state and national and federal stakeholders in the area. So together we have continued to, again, promote our regional goals. You can continue. I'm gonna speak through it quickly, so there's a lot of slides and there's a lot of images. So this is the vision to see these goals come through. It's 428 miles of a regional active transportation network, and we have just 78 miles, paddling trails, 230 miles of multi-use trails, and 120 miles of the USBR route. So why do we wanna do this? I like to go through some of what inspired us to get to this in the first place. The Great Allegheny Passage is the example that I like to use the most. It costs $80 million to complete, but it now generates $100 million in annual spending, annually, right? And the paddling trails as well, because Laguna Vista is so close to the bay and right along it. I wanted to point out that, the North Carolina coastal plains has a paddling trail system, and the tourists that come to paddle generate about $55 million in economic impact annually. We can skip through all of this. This is just the different types of tourists. There's destination tourists, event tourists that come for Pedal to Padre. There's converts, people who are beginners. And then here, if you want to scroll back to the chart, yeah. Basically what we did was look at the tourism market now, look at what we have existing, and then use some data analysts to see what potentially our economic impact could be if we implement this plan. So they looked at just 290 miles of the trail system, and 120 miles are the paddling trails, the USBR route, a bike lane route, and they projected about $70 million in annual spending by out-of-county visitors to the area. But most importantly for our health, they projected about $6 to $12 million in annual healthcare cost savings to the people. So that is a huge goal for our region, which suffers with really bad health disparities, including obesity and diabetes. So this is an example of what we have today in our area, and then a rendering of a transformation that we would like to make, and this is specifically along the waterways. So the multi-use trail network here is separated alone, and you can see Laguna Vista is in that area. And what I wanted to point out here was between Brownsville and Los Fresnos, that trail has been secured funding, and so that is going to be under construction soon. With the Federal Land Access Program, we have applied to connect the Bahia Grande Trail, which you can see is Port Isabel and Laguna Vista. And so in this presentation, you can see sort of some of these other connections. Again, we're using existing right-of-way public lands to transform our community and provide more opportunities for recreation and healthy communities. This is that fully funded connection between Brownsville and Los Fresnos. It's using private funding, transportation funding, and then this is the big one for Laguna Vista. You have your South Texas Ecotourism Center being built or designed now, and will be built in Laguna Vista city limits. And so the Bahia Grande Trail would connect the Palo Alto National Park surface land to US Fish, and the Bahia Grande unit, which looks like this right now, just has a surface maintenance road, but we could potentially open it up to the public, which it currently isn't, for some recreational activities, and based out of that ecotourism center, give them direct access into this trail and potentially to bike to Los Fresnos and Brownsville if they wanted to. This is a rendering of the plan that I think you all showcased. And then the paddling trails is another big one. And what I wanted to showcase here, this is designated by the state. Texas Parks and Wildlife Department has their Texas paddling trails. This is 78 miles, and what they dictate is that there needs to be a launch site every 4 to 10 miles in between, so that in case there's emergencies or people need to get out of the water, they would do that. That's not. Yeah, I think we skipped I think we skipped a lot of slides. No, you have to go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, all the way. Yeah, there's, so, keep going, yeah. There we go. So this is mostly what I wanted to cover. I feel like, do you mind if I just scroll? I don't
No,
know,
go ahead.
I think it is jumping, right?
Yeah.
Where is it? Okay, cool, so I'll just scroll through this and you will help us. So what I wanted to say is with the paddling trails, there's a lot of activity going on already. And so here in Port Isabel, you can see people already kayaking off of the bay. They have the Arturo Gaban Coastal Park that's currently under construction that'll provide a paddling access point. Well, that's where's the page? I don't even see your bar. Cool, let me check. There we go. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna do that. So this is South Padre Island has their it's called this wind and water sports park that they're currently going out for design for. Rio Hondo has gotten funding for their boat ramp park. And then, so because of that, they're gonna be developing their parks and they're also going for Texas Parks and Wildlife, but it'll be along the Arroyo Colorado. And then hopefully we'll be able to attract tourists like this who came from all over the country just to bike and bird in the area. And so some of what I wanted to show here was that there's opportunities to take existing businesses and help get some, small business loans to advance what they have to offer or expand what they have to offer by. So really what I'm here today for though is the United States Bicycle Route. We have a working group established. What is the United States Bicycle Route? It is officially designated bicycle route. The DOT applies to, I'm just gonna leave it alone. We're just gonna put it on one. I'm not gonna worry about it. What I put it on is this.
They better.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna put it on this, no, it's because it's a PDF and not a.
Yeah, it's not a.
So I'll just leave it here. So the United States Bicycle Route, I don't know what's going on over there. It is designated by the AASHTO, which is the American Association for State Highway Transportation Officials. And in order to get this designation of this on-street route, you need to have the State Department of Transportation apply to AASHTO requesting the state. What AASHTO does not do is approve the route for cyclist safety. What they do is ensure a structured, uniform numbering system for the network. And so it's really a national corridor plan, which I think you can see in your packet, is that there's a plan to connect the whole nation through these United States bicycle routes. And specifically in Texas, specifically in Cameron County, we have from Combs to Brownsville would be USBR 55, and from Combs towards South Padre and down to Brownsville would be USBR 255. Like any highway system, they have those different numbering systems. And so we would be the first USBR designated in the state of Texas. There's other USBRs throughout the country, but not in Texas yet. So we're kind of asking TxDOT to do that first push and request. But what this will help us do once we're designated is attract and be on the national map. Adventure Cycling Association created the corridor plan, and they attract a lot of cyclists who are interested in going on long distance tours. So we would, once we're designated, we'll be in their map, we'll be able to use the designation as leverage to improve our roads and have more signage and better accommodate cyclists. Once we're designated, we're saying, hey, we're here, we want to attract them to come through our communities and to give this area a tour. And so that's exactly what we're doing. The process, which you see through there, is that there's an application. It's very simple and basic that TxDOT has to fill out. I did include like a map of the regional stuff. And then, so from there, all we're doing right now with your community is making you aware of the USBR route, and then, letting you know that we're going out for this designation. The AASHTO meets in May. TxDOT has about 3 months between January and April to submit the application, to finalize it and submit the simple application. But once designated, we would want to do a joint press release with Adventure Cycling Association in order to let the world know, and specifically Texas know, that we have the first designated USVR route. There are some state bicycle advocates that would want to push the rest of the state to get the rest of the route completed, and then hopefully would be able to connect it to just the rest of the country. So this today is just to, as a courtesy, let you know, the Cara Cara Trails has formalized, they're moving together through the working group to get this designation. If we do a joint press release, Laguna Vista would be highlighted in that, would be on the map on these other organizations' websites. And all we need is a letter of support, basically that you acknowledge and understand what this route means and support the designation of the system. Any questions?
Questions
Sorry.
of Eva? We were camping up in the hill country, at State Park before Thanksgiving, and I know there were 4 different groups of bicyclers came in with their little tent. They could come in and spend the night, and it was cold and wet up there. They were bicycling, sitting up there in the hill country and camping. Not me.
Yeah.
But it was really nice to see.
I hosted cyclists at my house who came from Colorado to go to Mexico, and they stopped in Brownsville. They stopped in several communities, obviously throughout Texas, because you can't do that in a day. You can't do that in a day driving, you definitely can't do it in a day
This
biking.
is
But
exciting.
so this is, just another way to help bring people to the area, spend money here, bed and breakfast, and provide more activity and economic resources for our region. So,
I like the name of.
got it?
There was
I need to
there were
start
lot of
putting a
choices.
picture of the bird in the
Yeah.
presentations. But it's a Mexican eagle. If you look it up, the Cara Cara it's known as a Mexican eagle. It's very beautiful, and you can find it in our area. And so there was a huge marketing and branding study done for that.
I was at Port Mansfield 2 weeks ago, and they were all over the place.
Yeah. I saw 2 like 2 weeks ago, but it was cool. It was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You got a question?
What is it exactly you need from us?
Just a letter of support. I'll be working with Tony and David to, it's a simple template that I have in your presentation of what we're asking for, but it's just a letter of support. And that, I am on the TxDOT Bicycle Advisory Committee, and we have our meeting January 17th. And so we're coordinating a meeting with the Deputy Executive Director of TxDOT in order to let them know, and I'll be putting your letter of support in that packet. Just like, hey, the communities are aware, since these routes fall in your jurisdiction, we want this designation, and can you please submit this letter to action? This package. That's it.
No.
A letter, if it was a resolution, it would be a more formal agenda, but this is just letters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Okay, item B, consideration and possible action on contract for waste collection services with the BFI Waste Services. Tony, do you have anything? I know John Diplo's here and.
We have the contract, to go in a contract with the next 5 years. And, standard, and, this is going to expire. I know it was on Mr. Calvert's asked if it was on the previous agenda, but we did not have the contract.
Yeah.
So now we have the contract.
Anyone have any questions of Mr. Diplo?
The stores did only put this contract?
I'm sorry,
The stores did only put this contract?
did he, Chief? Yes. Any questions?
Yeah, and it's just based on the offer letter that Omar had already given
Right.
to
And Omar was here back in October, I think.
Yeah, he was another meeting.
Yeah.
The rate structure, I mean, it's the same. as-
Yeah, it was all the same. In fact, the rate that's on there is, you rate all the way through next cycle. It's got the CPI change to make it more level for you, also doesn't jump as much, make it smoother for you.
They didn't explain that last time, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the contract with BFI Resources.
Which one are you seconding? Motion on the floor, made by Councilman Davalos, seconded by Councilwoman Smith to approve the BFI Waste Services contract.
Mayor Houston.
Yes.
Councilmember Howard. Councilmember Davalos.
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell.
Yes.
And Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Thank you, John. So, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Item C, consideration possible action to consider a request from Dr. Jeannie Oler for use of Roloff Park on the third Saturday of each month for veterinary services. And Dr. Oler is here. If you want to come up here and answer any questions. Tony, do you have anything to add?
No, the doctor has been doing this
Yes.
A couple years now.
a couple of years ongoing. and
Doctor, if you'll speak into the microphone, it will pick up, and you can address it. You can address it. Well, that's okay, just press it down, and address the council, please. Oh.
There you go.
So I've been doing it a couple of years. It's been on the second Saturday of the month lately, like the last year. But logistically, for me, it's better to do it on the third one, starting in the new year. I would like to do it this weekend, on the second, and finish out the year on the second. But then, for me, since I have 3 other locations I do, logistically, it works out better for me to do it on the third Saturday. But we originally were doing the start this year too. We've helped 314 more pets since last year, which actually the numbers here are kind of low for us. We saw 62 patients in Los Fresnos last week. So, but we enjoy coming. It's a very pleasant place to do it, and we're still serving the communities.
Couldn't have a better view, could you?
No. No, or a breeze or. So it's very nice, and I've started reaching out more extensively, not just to Laguna Vista, but to the nearby towns and stuff. So I'm working on building it up. But we did see, I think, 35 patients the last time we were here last month. So, which is better than some of the smaller numbers that we've had in the past. So we would like to continue for another 6 months or a year.
Are there any questions of Dr. Oler?
I make a motion to approve the use of the park as Dr. Oler requested.
Motion, thank you, Dr. Oler. Motion on the floor made by Councilwoman Smith, seconded by Councilman Gonzalez to approve the request from Dr. Jeannie Oler for the third Saturday of each month.
What's the time frame?
So 1 to 3?
No, I mean,
For a year.
Oh, sorry.
For a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Okay, for a year.
Mayor Houston?
Yes.
Councilmember Howard?
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos?
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez?
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Dr. Oler.
Thank you.
Item D, consideration possible action regarding utility easement to Tower Alliance LLC / American Tower. We have a memo from Mr. Ozuna concerning this. Mr. Tony, do you have anything to add or say?
Now, this is a tower that's directly behind the fire station, and Mr. Ozuna had given you a memo, and we attached it, different actions y'all should take. From my understanding, you might have said do not take any action, or y'all could take action. They could also elect to, or you could also authorize the town's attorney to negotiate the renewal of a lease with the company.
I personally feel better about having Mr. Ozuna here before we discuss renewing, changing anyway. So I would like to have this tabled until, I would like personally to have this tabled until we see Mr. Ozuna here.
I mean, his letter is pretty accurate, but I still think
Yes. Okay, I'll make a motion to table, and Mrs. Smith seconded. So motion on the floor to table this item was made by the mayor and seconded by Councilwoman Smith.
Mayor Houston?
Yes.
Councilmember Howard?
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos?
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez?
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Motion passes. So you can be here to advise us. Item E, city manager's report. Tony?
We, on January 26, 2020, we will be holding the third annual Do It by the Bay Do-A-thon. It's a bicycle and the runners, which we've done the last couple of years.
Did I see there was a kids portion of that also?
There might be.
different one.
That's a
It's a
different,
different
Okay.
But they had one last time, no?
Yeah, but it's not the same
But I
one.
mean, at the same time, where they did include the kids
No,
the first time.
they're separate.
Oh, I know they had a separate one, but the first one, didn't they also include the
Yeah, that
kids
was a
part?
run that,
That was a run.
that was a run that was put together by
They had a certain age group, we cut them off a little early, but it was mainly,
Gators.
the last one we had was just for the
Kids.
kiddos.
Kiddos, yeah. It was a duathlon for kiddos, the last one. And then the previous one was for all athletes, including kids.
Tony, what is needed from the town?
The town is they just request us to, they do like us to block off the road with our little, road markers on the beach. And then, just support of the police officers and the fire department.
Police and fire.
What time is this at, Mr. David?
It is 8 o'clock in the morning.
Any further questions about this? Come to our favorite one. It's not even six, it's just 6:30. Just a record. Adjournment. Who was first over here? Joe Vaughn. And who's second?
Frank.
Yeah. We all did.
Oh, you read it
Okay, motion on the floor by Councilman Howard, seconded by Councilman Davalos to adjourn at 6:32.
Mayor Houston.
Yes.
Councilmember Howard.
Yes.
Councilmember Davalos.
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yes.
Councilmember Worrell.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Motion passes. Have a wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, Merry Christmas,